Welcome to the Any Spartan Show. On this episode, Sandy and myself, we talk about Rugged Maniac. I went back after a couple of years away. I wish I had come back sooner. We also catch up with Josh on a really bad line, and we talk about the upcoming OCR World Championships. That's right, it's championship season. Enjoy the show. If this is your first time listening to the show, thanks for checking us out. We record roughly weekly, and you get to listen to myself, Paul Jones, Sandy Ree, and Josh Chase chat about the obstacle course racing scene. We also do interviews with race directors and business owners in the OCR space. I encourage you to go and check out all of our other episodes over on podcast.anyspartans.com, and while you're there, subscribe to us. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, anywhere else you're going to find a podcast. You can also find us over on Facebook as the Any Spartan Show, and we really encourage you to leave questions in the comments that we answer every episode. Now let's get on with the show. Welcome to the Any Spartan Show. Pop quiz, what episode number are we on? Sandy?
I never pay attention because that's your job. 58?
No.
See, it's more difficult than you think.
It's not difficult, I just haven't looked.
We are on episode 59.
I was close.
You were. We filled a few episodes up with the board positions that have episodes that have been out, which, of course, are mostly only interesting to people who are voting or members for the season, but there's one more of those to come.
Yes.
We're putting together the pitch, I guess, the elevator pitch for each person who's running an uncontested role. So that should be a really short 10, 15-minute long episode. But that's on the horizon, hopefully this week. Meanwhile, we've been racing. I got to a race.
It's about dang time.
Yay!
What was that, number 2 for you this year?
Race. You actually
4.
raced.
I say race. I don't know if I call it what I did racing.
You passed us.
I started, I finished, they gave me a shiny medal, but we did Rugged Maniac.
Oh, and what fun it was.
I don't know why I didn't go back before. So, my history with Rugged Maniac goes back to the beginning, the first year. 2010. I did 2010, 11, and 12. And then in 13, I went to Viking Challenge, which was the same weekend. And Viking Challenge was newer, bigger, tougher, longer, and it had all-inclusive accommodation and food and family stuff, so I ended up going there. But I haven't been back to Viking for a couple of years, and they haven't overlapped with Rugged Maniac for a couple of years. So I don't know why I didn't go back to Rugged earlier, because it was hilarious. It was a fun time.
I must say that that's one of those courses that it is just a ball. And if you're not doing it for time, and you can actually spend some time out there and just play around on the obstacles, it is a friggin' blast.
I'm going to say it. If you go to Rugged Maniac and run it for time, you're doing Rugged Maniac. Completely wrong.
I will make an exception to that, though. If you do one lap for time in order to qualify for Worlds or do something of that nature, but then you go out for another lap for fun, then okay.
Are they a Worlds qualifier?
Yes, they are. And one of our own,
They are.
Jay Kelly, actually qualified. He tied, exact tie for 10th place.
Ah! So I got him
And
in.
top 10 go.
Oh, well, I did not know that. And it's only the first wave, right? They're the only ones that time. Cause
Correct.
I know Rugged
And it's all
is...
gun time, so there's no chips, there's no nothing.
Yep.
They've got someone at the finish line recording the numbers of the people who come in first, second, third, etc. And then if you're over the age of 50, as you come in, you're supposed to yell, "I'm over 50," because the first over 50 male and female win prizes, but they have no way to distinguish age unless you tell them. So that way they can tell you immediately, yes, you're the first, or no, you're not the first over 50 person.
So they can't just look for grey hair?
Well, they could on some people.
If that's the case, then I'm qualified.
I was going to say, I'm close to 50 and I've got no gray. I've got purple and brown.
I'm trying to avoid learning if I have any grey.
You don't have any hair to begin with, so.
No, I don't. It's Rugged Maniac that made me buzz all my hair off. There's a story there. Ask me when I've had a few beers. But if you, if you've never been out to Rugged Maniac in Massachusetts, it's in the middle of freaking nowhere. It's as far from Boston as you can get and still be in Massachusetts, pretty much. It's a hike. Even for me, I live in the middle of nowhere, and it's still a hike to get to.
It was a hike,
Six
but
Flags. It's
still
not that
worth
bad.
it.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
past
still
Six
worth
Flags.
It is nowhere near Southwick Zoo, even though it's in Southwick. The very first year I did it, I put Southwick Zoo in my GPS and set off. I got halfway there and was like, oh, shit. It's not even close.
Nope.
Not even close. So if you haven't, I was going to say, if you haven't already, go back over the podcasts. I was looking for the number, and I can't find the number now, but we actually interviewed Caitlin Greenleaf, who is the episode 43. She's director of operations at Rugged Maniac, and she was the, I guess, de facto race director of this particular weekend. And I got to meet her finally. She is also going to be the new race director for Cupid's Undie Run. She's taking over the duties there, so that's another race that we'll enjoy because it's hilarious. But we'll talk more about that later.
Definitely.
So, how was your rugged experience, Sandy?
Oh my goodness, I had a blast. Well, first of all, they formalized the multi-lap procedure. I think because we bugged them enough and said, hey, can you do this for us? And I think it was very reasonable, $25 for an extra lap, but you got an extra medal.
Yep.
So we had people do as few as one, obviously, but 2 for multi-laps and as many as 6. I don't think anybody beat 6 laps, but they allowed us to carry it over from Saturday to Sunday. So I managed to do 3 laps for $99. You can't beat that with a stick.
I mean, huge thanks to the Rugged Maniac HQ because they joined Race Local this year, and that multi-laps over 2 days was exclusive for Race Local people.
Yes.
So they were doing multi-laps on one day already, but for Race Local, because obviously laps and miles mean points and prizes, they were kind enough to let us extend that over 2 days. I know a few people didn't get their names in, no matter how much we bugged them to do it, so I apologize if you didn't get to do it, but I'm pretty sure they were accommodating to everyone who went up and asked.
I think so too, and it was really wonderful. And it was funny because when I signed in on Sunday morning, I don't know that they checked my name against a list, or it was a small list, so they may have kind of had it, quote, memorized in, some respect, or at least some familiarity with it. But I gave them my name, and they, okay, $25, please. And I handed them my cash and got my new bib, and I was good to go. And Sunday was light enough that we had multi-lappers were given 9:45, which was the elite heat, the timed prize heat. And then our team was given 10 o'clock for the first open wave. But the elite heat was so small that we had a couple people come up with us. And the guy actually said, well, you're wearing the same shirt, so I'm guessing you guys are a team? I was like, very good. And he let everybody go on in. So there were 2 people that had 10, but he was like, no, it's small enough that it's not going to cause any disruption, so you guys go on in.
I think it's
so we all got
to
to start.
A large company like theirs is flexible enough to do that. I like that.
They try to when they can. Now, if the wave had been really full, obviously we may have still asked, but we certainly wouldn't have expected a yes answer. But given how small it was, I was pretty positive that it was not going to cause an issue. We didn't have any weights at obstacles or anything like that, or, anything.
I know a few people who went up on Saturday when it was a lot busier and asked to have their wave time adjusted. And they were really, really accommodating. They just gave you a new sticker to put on your bib, which you handed in at the corral. They were super accommodating. They didn't give anyone any hassle.
Nope. And it was great. And talking about the race itself, they just have some things that are just pure fun. I mean, trampolines. What other race has trampolines on the course?
That was hilarious.
I know on Sunday, we took 2 hours and 40 minutes to do a single lap on Sunday. we were going through the obstacles, and if the obstacle was fun, we went back and did it again. And if it was still fun, we went back and did it again. There were a couple of them that we did 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Now, we never got in anyone's way. So if there were people coming through, we didn't, hog it or anything like that. But people were spread out enough at the various obstacles that, we either waited in line or just went back and stayed out everybody's way. And we had more fun spending that much time. We went down the slide and it was like, that's fun, do it again. So we climbed back up and did the slide a second time.
So we've discussed my hatred of slides and going in water, and I did both of those slides. No epiphany moment. I would not call them fun, but I did them. Got them out of the way. I just went and
By the way, the water you landed in for both slides, one slide the water was like 3 or 4 inches deep, because it was just like the real steep ones at water parks where you're just basically skimming across the water to a stop.
Not if
and the other one probably was 5 or 6, 7 inches deep, so it wasn't like you were going to go underwater.
You still got water in your face and up your nose and your eyes and down your throat. Oh yeah, but that's fine. I just don't like slides.
Aw.
I found, so they use inflatables, of course, and they're very, very clear about making sure you don't wear cleats. Now, one of the inflatables was 2 or 3 steps, giant steps that were probably chest height on me, with, at the very top, they had those upright bollards, like
noodles.
punching bags.
Noodles.
But quite thick, like a inflatable punching bag kind of thing. And then you went down the back. Well, we watched a dude get on the steps and he was bouncing from step to step to step. And I don't know if he didn't realize that those pool noodles at the top were not that deep, but he bounced right up into those head first and just went straight over the other side without realizing it. He tried to grab hold, stop himself, couldn't. Straight over head first. Oh, how we laughed.
Luckily, it was inflatable, so he didn't get hurt.
Oh, he was fine, but it was hilarious to watch him, very confidently mount each step and then right at the top just go right over the other side without realizing.
Right over the edge.
There wasn't another step there for him.
Well, we had one Spartan who was set up on the top of the big slide waiting for her sister to join her at the top so that they could slide down together. And somebody came up right behind him and accidentally bounced at the top.
Yeah.
Bounced our Spartan all the way down to the bottom. She didn't even touch the slide. She got bounced airborne all the way to the bottom of the slide, screaming bloody murder through the air as she went flying.
She all right?
Oh, yeah. She didn't get hurt at all. But, oh, my goodness. And apparently this guy looked at her sister and said, was she waiting to go with you? Yes. Sorry. Apparently it caused quite a clamor at the bottom as people were rolling, laughing, going, "Oh my God, you didn't even touch!"
I watched a couple of girls get to the top of the wood slide, not the inflatable slide, and they were supposed to go together, but one of them grabbed hold of the lip and held on rather than go, and another girl standing right behind her, who I assumed was with them, stepped forward, and I thought she was going to grab her arm or, pull her up by the armpits or something. No, she reached over and just went bam on her hands and sent her off down the slide.
Aww.
Serves you right, leaving your friend high and dry.
One thing I will say about that wooden slide is you want to be careful not to go down too many people at a time.
Yeah.
We learned very quickly 2 is the max.
Yeah, we did too. I looked at Steve. I was running with Steve Russell, and I looked at him at the top of the slide and said, you dare do that to me. And he's like, I'm not touching it. So I just got on and went. I didn't give anyone any chance to push or screw that.
Oh, but
and they've
the one where you jump up to hit the little
the gong.
So it's just a platform, and you jump up, and you're trying to ring or hit this little target.
It's like a frying pan.
Just hung in the air. And I think I had to have done it 10 times before I finally just barely brushed it with my fingertip. And I was like, that's it, I'm done. I give up. I can't hit that thing. So I tried it one more time and got it. And didn't even move, but I felt it, damn it.
I had no problem with that. The only obstacle I can't do is rings. It's body weight, hanging, grip strength. Even rings at Rugged Maniac, it's just, they defeat me again. God damn it.
They were very close together. I kept turning around backwards because I was trying to get a lateral swing.
Yep.
And it was so close that I wasn't getting any kind of extension or stretch. And I kept rotating backwards. It's like, this is not going the way it's supposed to be going.
Now
but I got through it. The third time.
The venue.
Saturday,
awesome.
I couldn't do it at all. Oh, the venue is awesome.
So if you haven't run Rugged Maniac in Southwick, it's at a motocross park. And that means you have, I don't know, I mean, it's a 5K distance, 3.5 miles, my GPS clocked it. And some of it's done in the trails and in the woods, but most of it's done on the motocross park itself. And those rolling sand hills and sand dunes that they make the course up out of, those things burn your legs up. I was sore for a couple of days, and I didn't expect that at all. It's nasty.
It's one of those things where I think, okay, Killington was last week, and half the people I'm running with did Killington last week. And I'm like, I'm doing this on fresh legs, and I'm tired.
Yep. Yeah, well,
because as we discussed, I wasn't about to do Killington.
They're all suckers. But I liked it. I had a blast. I'm glad I went. I will be going back again. Now, Josh, you've been quiet because you weren't there, but you've done Rugged before, right?
Yes, I'm contributing nothing to this conversation whatsoever this year.
That's all right. It's been the Josh show the last 3 or 4, so.
That's true. I love Rugged. I think it's the perfect way to cap off the season in between Killington and championship season. I'm sad I didn't get to go this year, but it's definitely one of the most fun races for sure. And you're right, their obstacles are great where you can just jump in pools of water and jump. Did they have the one where you had to jump up and hit like the hanging frying pans and stuff that were hanging down?
That's the one I was talking about that I finally hit. You can probably just reach up and touch the dang thing. This white girl don't jump.
I have to use the trampoline.
There's no trampoline.
No trampoline.
If there were a trampoline, I wouldn't have a problem.
Oh, they had a trampoline there last year. No.
They had
last year they had a trampoline, but they had to be 15 feet off the ground.
They had the world's shortest rec bag carry.
Oh, God, yes.
That was hilarious. Yeah. Put on my shoulder, go on a cone and come back.
On Saturday, and Shane, he was like, okay, this isn't hard. I was thinking, wow, this is way too easy, because it was a 25-pound rec bag, and it was probably, 50 feet?
Yeah, maybe.
Out and back. And he was like, okay, give me more. Carried 5 or 6 of them. 5 of them. So on Sunday, it was like, okay, give me another. All right, give me another. So Amy Lillis and I, it was like, okay, 3. Now that's a little bit better of a challenge. So we carried 3 of them each.
You can tell people who've done a whole bunch of OCRs and heavy carries up mountains and crap like that when they start loading up with rec bags. But yeah, I got to it. I was like, oh, it's... And I didn't mean it to sound like snarky, but I was like, is that it?
Is that it?
And they were all 25 pounds. There was no 50 pound, no men's weight or whatever you want to call it. But I was like, oh, okay.
But that shows that they react, because last year what happened was it was longer. And they kept running out of sandbags because they were all out on the loop.
Okay.
So therefore, this year they adjusted. So that goes to show that they're paying attention to what's going on in their races, and they learn from past experience, which is a huge plus.
And they did it without buying a bucket load more sandbags.
Exactly.
Yep.
They figured out a way to make sure that it was equitable. And if you didn't like one or thought it was too easy, you could do 2. One guy got shamed by Amy and I, and he picked up his girlfriend and went around, and then saw us go around a second time with 3 the second time. We went around with 2 the first time. And he was like, doggone it, give me a sandbag too. She was like, does that mean I can get down? He was like, no. She goes, it's really uncomfortable up here. Let me down. I was like, no, not until I do it with you and a sandbag.
I saw a dude pick his kid up and carry his kid. He's like, I'm just going to go. I mean, you're right. It was maybe 50 feet. Not even 50 feet out and back. Maybe 50 feet total.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was quite funny. I thought it was fun.
And no real hill.
No.
But for some people, that was enough of a challenge. And if it wasn't, then you could adjust.
And it was 85 frickin' degrees all day, so I loved the water crawls, the hose pipes that they were putting on us. That was nice.
It was 90 on Sunday.
Ugh, it's just too hot. Too hot. So it was nice to crawl in the cold mud, and most of it was nice sandy. It wasn't rocky for the sake of it. I still managed to take a chunk out of my knee from those stupid uphill pipe crawls.
Which is funny because you own knee pads.
Yes. But you also own a dry robe and don't take it with you to races either.
It's been with me the last 3 times, so you just...
But it's been 90 degrees the last 3 times.
Touche.
You knew there were going to be crawls.
Yep. Well, I managed to take a chunk out my knee because I got to the top of the pipe, brought my legs up to push out, and got wedged.
Oh, no.
So, because I wasn't as far out as I thought, and, you know, as soon as I put my knees under me, my back wedged against the pipe, I just was like, crap. So I had to push my knee down with my hand, and doing it took a chunk out my knee. I was like, damn it.
Going down, you could start at the end of the tube and just kind of spring off and slide all the way down and out.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Yeah, getting in was easy. It was just the getting out bit I managed to screw it up. And they had the best free after-race beer. Was it UFO Brewery at their white ale? It was gorgeous.
Well, they had 3 to choose from. It wasn't just, you didn't have one choice. You had 3 choices. All of them Harpoon, or UFO. Harpoon was one of the choices.
I will say, though, I think they're, I don't want to say outgrowing, but the festival area they had was pretty crammed on Saturday. I mean, there was not a lot of wiggle room when you were trying to go anywhere on the Saturday. I didn't wait for anything. Like, I didn't wait for beer that long. I didn't wait for food very long. Our tent area they gave us was really nice.
Yes.
But whenever you wanted to move up and down the festival area, you know, to go to registration or whatever, that was pretty tight.
Agreed. But at the same time, having all those people there kind of sets a mood.
Yep.
And I don't mean one of frustration at trying to get through, but a mood of, hey, this is a party, this is packed, this is everything. I know we spent a good chunk of time on Saturday trying to figure out what the 25-5-1 meant on the shirt.
It says it right next to it.
Oh, it says it on the back. We finally realized
okay.
that. 25 obstacles, 5K, 1 fantastic after party.
And it was. I'll be back next year, almost certainly.
Did any of our group do any of the contests? They had Stein holding contests, they had pull-up contests, pardon me,
they had a
had a pie eating contest.
Yeah. I think Koos did the
I did the Stein holding contest last year.
Yeah? You win?
I did not win, but I was also not first out, so I consider that a victory in and of itself.
I think Koos did the Stein holding this year. At least he put quite a lot of footage on Instagram of it. But I don't know. I mean, I thought the pie eating contest was hilarious. Watching those guys, look, they did one a day, and they just halfway through he yells, "No hands!" So everyone's with their faces, butts in the air and faces in a pie, just trying to eat as much as they could.
It was nice that they were allowed to use hands at all, because he kept flip-flopping back and forth.
Oh, did he?
Now you can use your hands, now you can't, now you can use your hands, now you can't. So that was kind of fun. Well, you were always paying attention to what it was that you had to listen for what he was saying.
I know the guys from Rugged headquarters are probably going to listen to this, because I let them know we were recording a show, and they'd asked what did we think. So my feedback is big thumbs up, had a blast. I thought it was excellent, and I'm kicking myself for not going more in previous years. Yeah.
I agree with you 100%, and I would like to say thank you for allowing us to have a team tent area.
And
they gave us enough room to put up 2 tents, so we put one behind the other so as not to take up the front space, and gave us some nice shade during very hot days, and gave our spectators a place to hang out and us to hang out afterwards. And we were right in the festival area this year instead of over all by ourselves last year. Not that I'm complaining about last year, but this year it was very, very nice.
And
so thank you for that.
And a huge thanks to them for joining Race Local, because it's a program that supports the best of New England, and well, they're New England born and bred. They're headquartered in Boston, so despite them... And
most importantly, they asked with quite a lot of passion, please, can we be part of this.
And despite them being a national brand, I mean, so is Bone Frog, but they're New England born and bred.
Yep, and they grew into that. They started small, and they grew into that.
I was there in 2010. They started very small. I actually found on this day on Facebook, there was some posts from the early ones, and for the most part, the obstacles were the same obstacles, but when you look at the production values of the obstacles, it wasn't even close. You know, their water slide was hilarious back then. It was very gentle, just a bunch of plywood and a tarpaulin stretched over down into a pool. The pool was a lot deeper, but the slide was much, much gentler. And all the barbed wire crawls, I mean, you could basically just, crouch to go through them. And I had very vivid memories, and this is something that popped up on my own this day. The 3 years I did it, they never had their fire jump working. I think 1 year they got shut down by the town. Another year they just couldn't get it burning. It just kept burning out. This year they had 3 in a row, all burning really high, and a gas-fed one right in front of a water pit, which that was quite fun. So, production values have gone up dramatically since the early days.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to, speaking of the fire pit, looking forward to the photographs, because on Sunday, for our 2 hour and 40-minute 5K, during the entire race, we carried a bag of marshmallows. And when we got to the fire jump, we handed out the bag of marshmallows, and we all roasted marshmallows on the fire. Awesome. And we had more fun. Spectators alike, volunteers, hey, find a stick, here's a marshmallow. And they got one great picture of all of us holding up our roasted marshmallows.
I look forward to seeing that. That sounds hilarious.
It was worth carrying that bag throughout the whole race.
Cool. All right. So what's coming up next? We have something coming up.
We do.
Just this little thing, right? This little jog in Canada.
I can't believe it's already here.
Can we just go now?
No. You gotta wait.
I can't believe it's already here.
I can't believe I can't go. Damn it.
That is depressing for you.
Yeah.
It is. But not for you guys.
For everyone who's, I'm sure not too many people are wondering, but OCR World Championships is in 2 weeks and 2 days. Is that right? Or 1 week and 2 days? Oh my God, it's 1 week.
2 weeks and 2 days.
Is it?
No, it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a question for you, Josh. Will you be rubbing your nipples at the top of the wall again this year?
I don't know. I never saw that picture before, and I was looking at it. I was like, what the hell am I doing in that photo? And then it occurred to me that, right, I had taken my shirt off in order to hang down the wall and extend my shirt to Nikki and the other vertically inclined people.
So
yeah,
what?
And then I was putting my shirt back on, and that was where they caught me mid-photo.
Yeah, you're rubbing your nipples. We can see
I
the
think
photo.
I was the only one to actually answer your question seriously.
Why on earth would you answer a question like that seriously?
This is what I'm pretty sure was actually happening.
Why on earth would you miss an opportunity to not answer that one seriously?
Everybody else had already taken care of it.
I couldn't even figure it out myself. I was wondering what the hell I was doing, but it came rushing back to me as soon as Sandy said it. But anyway, let's talk about the actual race itself.
Moving on. When do you guys
You're
go?
probably really looking forward to it, Josh. I'm both terrified and excited.
I am, this is my event. I love this event, and I love everything about going up for the week and going there Wednesday to Monday, turning it into a true obstacle course racing vacation.
And the best road trip buddies ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Best road trip group ever. So I'm super excited to get out there, to get on the road, to get into Canada. Everybody, if you know me, you know I love Canada. I have some weird love for our great white neighbors. So yeah, I can't wait. And to, especially after going to Texas for the US Championships, it's kind of like a little bit of a teaser for it, where you got to get on Skull Valley and you get to do the skyline and you get to do urban sky and all the hanging walls. And after that, I was definitely amped up for it. So I'm absolutely ready to go. I just can't wait, and I can't wait to see what other obstacles and what new creations Adrian and team have in store for us.
Oh,
and gear.
I just want to
Can't
see
wait to
the
buy
map.
Gear.
I just want to see the map. I want to know.
Well, if you put up a clever enough post in the athletes page, it seems like Adrian is one who caves very well to peer pressure. So I'm thinking maybe.
Okay, you know
Friday,
me
maybe?
in my. Huh?
Maybe course map Friday.
That would be great. I was going to say, you know me in my ability to be clever, or lack thereof.
Or we have to bribe him. That's the other way, is you have to bribe him with contributions to Make-A-Wish. And
I did enjoy
maybe.
I'll put this up as soon as we hit $500, and a single person was like, okay, done, show it. I think it was Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
Keller,
Can we
maybe?
talk about these medals?
Oh my
Shiny.
God, the
Medals
medals. If you have not seen the medals, they are beautiful.
Bastards.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm going to earn all those medals. I may not keep all the bands, but I'm going to earn all those medals. And I'm very excited because Vince is actually doing an OCR this year because he's going to come and do the Make-A-Wish. So I get to run it with him.
So in that case, we're going to have to do the entire course, I think, if Vince is doing the Make-A-Wish and not just cheaping out and do like 3 miles like we did last year.
We weren't given a choice last year, and given the weather, I think they made the right call last year.
Oh, God, yes.
So I
Very
think
true.
he's going to be very happy no matter what it ends up being.
Yeah.
And it'll be nice.
No, I can't wait to see all the. I'm fanboying out over this one. I can't wait to see all the athletes. I can't wait to see the competition. After watching Hunter McIntyre literally destroy the field at the short course for the U.S. Championships, I cannot wait to watch the pros go off on that. The only downside is the men's 30 to 39 is the very first wave for the short course, so I don't know that I'll have time to actually watch them finish. But
they're the second to last group, Josh. The elite
that's right. On
men
the short
are the
course, they're
second to
going at the end.
last. The elite women go
Right.
first, then the elite men, and then journeymen. That's the only difference from last year. Last year they had the elite men go last, very last. And journeyman was ahead of them. This year, journeyman is at the end. I'm liking the fact that one has no time limit. So if it takes me a while to get over something, doggone it. That's where I'm hoping I can figure out a way to keep my band on the short course.
Did you do the short course last year, Sandy?
I did, and I lost my band on the friggin' rig.
Well, I've been working hard at my grip, but I'll tell you, as much as my grip has improved, the more that I'm using my grip, my calluses are becoming the hurdle because the pain just from my calluses bending and folding over is a hindrance to my grip. So I can't find the balance between having a strong grip, but also building up tough calluses where it doesn't hurt anymore. So like yesterday,
if you're building them up, they're getting in the way. You gotta thin them out. Don't cut them off, but they need to be thinner.
Okay. Well,
get up on the stone. Scrub away
I'll
at
have to
them.
bust out the razor tonight and start shaving these suckers down.
Exactly.
But yeah, I can't wait to get another shot of this stupid rig. And it's not day 1 or day 2 I'm worried about. It's day 3 this time. So we'll see how my hands and my grip hold up. But I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait because, especially after Skull Valley in Texas, I almost want them to bring back. Do you remember, Paul, when they did Skull Valley in Ohio, that creation where you had to go under the cargo net without dropping down to the ground? It was 3 feet off.
Yeah.
I want that to come back so badly because it was such a fun way to do it. But I understand
that was
this.
2015.
Yeah, they had issues with backlogs on that.
Yeah. I would love to see Skull Valley go with that. But,
the problem with that one is you have to deal with people's height taking up the entire width, so only one person could go under at a time. Even if you had 6 lanes, you had a backup there. I love how they react to
I'm
things.
excited to see what's got up.
So last year we when we finished, we recorded a podcast in the basement bedroom. Do you think you guys will be able to do that again, or figure out a way?
I don't see why not.
Absolutely.
Someone take a laptop and a microphone and huddle on up.
I can bring that because I've got the automatic Skype recorder.
Sweet.
It's going to be awesome.
Cool. Well,
we'll get
I'm
it done.
Envious as hell because, schedules.
I'll even let Josh buy another rec bag if he wants one.
Just you can't bring it home. There's no room in
Have you seen the rec bags this year? Wait till you see
branded.
the rec bags this year. They're gorgeous. Yeah,
I know they're branded.
They have the thing, and they look amazing.
You mean it they're green handled instead of orange handled, right?
They're green bordered, but they're still orange handled, I believe.
Okay.
Huh. Cool.
So now the next big thing is, what is the weather going to be? You look at the forecast for this week, and it's 70 one day and 50 the next. So there's no telling. Given we're getting close enough to kind of have an idea, we could have snow or it could be 80 degrees.
Snow.
I'm ready for it to be close enough that we can look at a forecast and go, that's probably going to be about right.
I'm bringing insane.
I'm bringing a dry robe either way. So
I'll take your dry robe.
Yep. And maybe we could borrow Paul's, and then Vince could have one too, and all three of us could roll around like the Three Stooges in dry robes.
Vince has one.
Oh, well, all right, even better.
Because I bought the original dry robe, and then a week later, the NES ones were announced, and so it was like, here you go, Vince, I'm buying another one.
I kind of did the same with my dad. I gave him the original one I had, and then a new one.
Yep. So yeah, it's gonna be amazing. There's still a couple things in between there though. We have a city challenge this coming weekend. Not a huge group going. I inquired yesterday about volunteering and running a lap at the end, but I don't know that that's an option. So I have not checked my messages or Facebook today yet to find out if there's been an answer yet. So I can't speak to it intelligently, but if I can volunteer and run, I'll go to that and we'll see what happens. And then the following week is Tough Mudder Tri-State, where we'll have a pretty decent turnout at.
Is that before OCR Worlds or the same weekend?
Yeah, it's the weekend before.
Okay. Huh.
So that's my cool down kind of washout right before,
You're the only person who cools down with a Tough Mudder.
Saturday and Sunday.
I'm in full on take it easy mode right now. So I have these 3 weeks off. It was Killington, and then I normally do Rugged Maniac, and then there was Tough Mudder, and I was like, I'm not doing any of them. So I'm going to go, I'm hitting the gym a couple days a week. Molly and I are going hiking up Franconia Notch, I think, on Saturday. And beyond that, it's just grip strength and eating all the food and just biding my time until that Wednesday morning at the butt crack dawn when we get on the road. So,
yep.
So next
You're
question.
warbling a bit now, so just FYI.
Yeah. Next question, and this is something I don't normally care about, but who's going to win? Elite men's, elite women's. Is Hunter going to take it? Ryan going to take it?
Well, you got to separate
Hunter's
3K
gonna win
and
the short
15K.
course.
The last time it was Hunter did all of them, right?
Yeah, but he didn't place in all of them. Well, he got disqualified in the short course.
He fell off. Yeah, he didn't finish an obstacle, and then he fell off the obstacle I was volunteering at. He would have won.
I'm going to say that Hunter is going to win the short course, and he also, on Matt Davis's ORM podcast, he called out everybody else and said himself that he's going to beat Ryan Atkins at the short course because the short course is his forte. He loves short course racing and he wants to see it become bigger and bigger. And I sort of agree. I'd love to see the short course become like a competitive event at some of these premier obstacle races. So I think Hunter's going to take the short course, and then I think it's going to be John Albin 1, Ryan Atkins 2, and insert the third place person here for the long course as far as the men go.
All right. How about women? Do we know who's there? I don't think they've done any kind of press on this.
I'm having a hard time remembering her name. I know who I'm thinking
Lindsay
of.
Webster will be there.
Lindsay Webster is hard to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's going to take both short and long in this case.
The bit I absolutely love about this race is there's so many Europeans who could show up and we wouldn't know about them.
Exactly. Somebody out of the blue could show up that we've never even heard of before.
Yeah.
Now, is it likely? No, because if there were that big of a phenom, you have to win at least something to qualify for the elite heat.
Sure.
So,
but they could have won. They could have won a whole bunch in Europe,
there.
and we wouldn't know about them.
Yeah, but there would be talk because I don't know about you, but very few of the OCR pages that I follow are all strictly American.
True. And then because I can't go this year, where's it going to be next year? Should we start the speculation? Say Kazakhstan.
I'm still sticking with my prediction of Sweden.
Belgium.
I'm definitely somewhere in Europe, but as versus Australia or Asia or anywhere else. But I would think in the Netherlands, Switzerland area too. I don't necessarily am hard set on Sweden, but somewhere in that area would be my guess.
So knowing how much...
I just want Adrian's team to go to Sweden so I can go to Sweden.
Knowing how much Adrian and Rachel Ann love misinformation and rumor and speculation and bullshit, let's just start making places up. We'll start telling people that we've heard on good authority that it's going to be in the south of France. There you go. Monaco. It's going to be Monaco. How about that? Should we start there?
Nobody is going to listen to you.
You don't think?
No. No.
We can't even get our episode numbers right. How are we going to get
I got the episode number right.
So, and I realize it's another topic completely, but World's Toughest Mudder is in Vegas this year, and it's moving, and I would be willing to bet money that it will be somewhere in Europe next year.
Coming back east?
As well.
So,
no, not back east, Europe.
I
don't think it's even going to be in the U.S.
Okay, interesting. Why do you think that?
If you go on the Legionnaire page, for example, the vast majority of the traffic in there is European.
Interesting.
And they've been exploding over there.
So I had a question for you. Tough Mudder have done another have announced another championship, right? Because I saw Bob Mulholland, the OCR photographer extraordinaire, he made a comment that they'd announced a tougher Mudder championship, but they were putting it right in the middle of all the other championships, and it really hadn't been getting any press.
I honestly have not heard anything about it. I know that for 2018, they've only announced one location, I think, for Tougher. Okay. And they haven't announced where everything else is going to be yet, but I don't know, honestly. It
was one of those things where the way I read it, it sounded like it was even this year, not next year. Hence the confusion about clearly if it exists at all, it hasn't been well publicized.
No, because all the talk right now is World's Toughest, because that's in a month and change.
Sure. But you can't focus on that until OCR Worlds is out the way?
Correct.
One at a time.
With a little bit of exception, I need to start ordering some gear. I really need to get a wetsuit in.
Yep.
I can't wait till last second on that. But flights have been booked, hotel has been booked, car has been booked.
Exciting stuff.
Ready to go. But world's first. It is funny, though, having a conversation with people out on a course somewhere when they're talking about worlds and you have to say, okay, which one? Which one are you referring to? Are you talking about Spartan Worlds? Are you talking about Tough Mudder Worlds? Are you talking about OCR Worlds?
Well, I know Spartan Worlds is coming up.
Let's not forget Spartan's
Spartan's
championship is this weekend in Tahoe.
And it's snowing there, isn't it?
They announced a new agreement with Facebook Live Sports to broadcast, live via Facebook exclusively. So it'll be.
I saw that, and did Tough Mudder just announce exactly the same thing as well, that they're going to be Facebook Live Sports? Facebook have just released a TV style watch system where you basically, they're looking for unique content. They did the CrossFit Games this year. It was previously on YouTube. They made it to Facebook only. I hope they iron out some of the kinks that they had over at the CrossFit Games, because it wasn't that good of an experience, and YouTube Live was better. There, I said it. So we'll see how it goes.
Anytime you start something new, there's always going to be a learning curve. So
yeah. Oh, and this wasn't on CrossFit. This is on Facebook side.
No, I'm not saying it was. I'm saying when you do something new.
All right. We got anything else we want to cover today?
No, not for me.
Because I think we will probably...
It's going to be loaded up with OCR World Championship stories for the next couple of weeks, I'm sure. So, and I don't know what the Wi-Fi situation is like in the festival area, so I'll try and stay abreast of all the social media stuff if I can, but if not, follow the usual outlets and they'll keep you up to speed.
Awesome. I will follow along from home, sulking.
Aw. Sorry.
Well,
all right, guys.
We'll wave to you.
Thanks.
Thank you, as always, for listening.
Yes, thanks for listening, and all the usual stuff. If you enjoyed the show, share it. Get some other people listening. Give us some feedback. Tell us what you think. Are we screwing this up, or do you actually have questions for us? Are you enjoying yourself? It's always difficult when you ask people for feedback, because very few people take the time to actually provide feedback, but those who do, it's very much appreciated. I will talk to you guys later.
All right, take care.
Bye.
As always, guys, thanks so much for checking out the show. We'd love to hear what you think, so give us some feedback. Submit a question, share a story from one of your recent races or events. I think the show gets better and better with your participation, and it's not just Paul, Sandy, and myself talking. So to reach out, ask questions, suggest a topic, whatever it may be. Follow along on Facebook. We've got a dedicated Any Spottins show page, or you can join the community at Any Spottins on Facebook as well. Twitter's your thing. Shoot us a tweet at Any Spottins. And if you want to find our full library of episodes, I'd recommend either iTunes or Stitcher. So again, for Paul, Sandy, myself, thanks so much for listening, and until next time.